Testing. Okay. Alright, now try sound. It should be back up and going. Had to plug in my microphone. Okay. Anyway. Welcome. This is update to the weather situation ongoing. You may notice we do have a couple of tornado warnings for northwestern Texas and severe thunderstorm right now. Similar to Olo, this is Neil Roosevelt heading towards Apache. If you were with us earlier, the predominant storm motion was north. That has since changed, and storms are moving to the right now, which favors more of a tornadic flow. But right now, there again are no tornadoes in the state. Right now, there is not a storm close to producing a tornado at this moment. We do have these storms down in Texas that we are going to talk about that will move into Oklahoma quickly. But let's talk about this storm right here. Again, this is Neil Roosevelt in Copperton. As the warning text suggests, there is 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. It's moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Really don't expect this to strengthen any much more. It may produce a tornado eventually, although right now the velocity signatures are not indicating such that it's anywhere close right now. But this is moving into a QCS type tornado. Not tornado, but QCS type setup. This is similar to what happened to El Reno last year. I'm not saying we'll have another El Reno tonight, but this is kind of the setup that we had. It's MCS, or mesoscale convective system, setting up, which is basically a term for a big blob of storms. So what we're going to be looking for in this storm is any time the storm goes in and indents itself in a V shape, a type V shape, that's where we'll start to worry about a tornado threat. Now, again, we're nowhere close right now, and storm modes are becoming very wet and messy. You will not see a tornado if any occur. There was also a flash flood warning for a few counties out there. Hobart, Godebo, Roosevelt, Altus, Hedrick are all in this flash flood warning. It goes until 10:45 tonight, so still have another hour and a half-ish left. Up to 1.5 inches of rain had fallen, and flash flooding is expected to occur. Turn around, don't drown, so your basic text there. So again, nothing other than that storm going on in Oklahoma that is severe right now. I am going to focus on these storms in Texas right now, as that's where the main event is currently. We'll look at this one, Jacksboro, Texas. It's going to be on a path to go just south of Vacaville and maybe up through Kingston. But as you can see, it's currently tornado warned. Has a nice little velocity signature still there. Not very tight, but definitely something that is needs to be cautioned against. It's radar indicated, so it was not visibly indicated, but again, definitely has the real possibility of there being a tornado in that. And we'll also look at this one, great north of Breckenridge, Texas. Let me switch radars here. Oh yeah, that's a nice velocity couplet here. When I say couplet, you have this tight area where the green and red pinkish velocities are, meaning that's winds going in opposite directions, which spins up and gets the rotation down to the ground. And it's close to the radar, so we aren't looking high up into the storm evil. See if this is a confirmed tornado. Nope, radar indicated, but I'd be shocked if that was not on the ground. If you have any questions during this, feel free to pop in the chat and ask them. I'll try to get to them as I see them. I have noticed that there's a bit of a delay on it, so be patient. Okay, there we go. What I'll go ahead and do now is I'll pull up my severe threat graphic, and I'll explain a little bit more of some changes in the forecast. Although whoa, don't know what happened now, but we'll see. Alright, we're back. Alright, there has been a slight modification to the forecast for the highest tornado zone, and what I'll do is I'll just outline the area that we are expecting the highest tornadoes in, possibly in Oklahoma. Kind of right through there. Again, this watch is through midnight tonight, so there's still about 3 hours left of the tornado watch. That's the most likely time for tornadoes, especially stronger tornadoes. Yeah. Alright. Again, 10% chance of a tornado in that area. Less than EF2s are most likely on the damage scale. However, it's not impossible to rule out a stronger EF3 tornado with this event. Baseball-sized hail is possible, and winds up to 70 or 80 miles per hour. More likely closer to 70, but can't rule out an 80. And again, southern Oklahoma will have a high risk of flooding, slight risk of flooding, so it has the highest potential to see flooding of anywhere in the state tonight. Alright, so what I'll do now is I'll switch back to the weather subs and go by what they were saying, just give you an idea of what they are saying. Again, there's your severe flare. They did chop off a little bit on the official storm prediction center outlook, but I've retained my enhanced area. Again, counties in yellow are the tornado watch. They did expand it further northward to I-40 in western Oklahoma, south of I-40. Most of that is probably going to be clear from what I'm seeing right now. Again, that could change, but I'm not seeing any storms in that area right now, although there's definitely a few trying to form again in the Texas Panhandle, so just be on the lookout for those. Back to where do I want to go? So this is the HUD model. It's one of the latest models we have. It's kind of modeling it poorly right now. Really not much we can identify on that. It's just a blob of storms like we've been saying. So what we're going to do is I'll take to the mesoscale analysis that I showed earlier from the storm prediction cell. CAPE, still have plenty of CAPE energy for the storms to work with. And more importantly, probably what everybody wants to see is how's the helicity shaping up. And we have there's a 200 to 250 0 to 3 mid-level CO to work with. So that means that the storm has plenty of energy to spin it. So I do expect CO to not be an issue. I do expect we will have support for tornado genesis in the area. I'm not saying it will necessarily be very strong, but there is definitely that potential that still exists. Let's see. Precipitated water. Actually, let's show this one. So as you can see, we're just getting tons of moisture into the area. the darker greens are the hatch greens with these arrows indicating wind are just saying moisture is going to continue surging into the area. So these storms will have plenty of fuel to continue to work with overnight tonight. This is part of the reason why we have that slight risk of flooding in the area. Let's see. Back to radar. No updates greatly in radar now. What can I show? I'm trying to figure out something that will kind of explain the story a little bit. Let's look at no. Okay, this is kind of cool. I'll explain this. I don't get to talk about this a lot, but you'll notice areas of low pressure where the storms are currently happening, and that is because any storm that is rotating at all tends to create an area of low pressure. It does create an area of local low pressure. So that's part of, as the storms move in, your pressure drops. Some people can feel that, especially in joints and stuff, as one ages. But yeah, you'll notice a slight pressure drop in the area. This is how storms, you'll see wind going into storms most of the time, with a small outflow area. This is good for storm stability. The storm being able to live and breathe and all it does need to do. Alright, we should have a sounding by now. SBC.NOAA.gov. So I'll go ahead and show you, oops. There we go. Looks like the ZLZ soundings haven't came in yet. Anyway, here was a sounding taken by the Fort Worth office at 21Z. That's about 5 hour difference from local time, so around 6 o'clock, I believe. Anyway, what you can see in the sounding is you have this nice long holograph in the upper right corner. It's an upper right graph. It's long and skinny. So what this signifies is a linear storm mode. So you'll get a line of storms basically. It does also increase your chance of tornado as there's no water backing in the atmosphere. We do have a largely varying profile in the low layers, which will help sustain storms and let them grow. SRH values remain low, but they are sufficient with the LCL heights to produce tornadoes, especially since we're in a storm-like environment. See what else stands out for me here. Let's see. Yeah, the STP, or significant tornado parameter, I believe, is calling for an EF0, EF1, EF2 tornado. So again, in line with what we're thinking, nothing too crazy though. Monitoring my phone for any updates that I may get from friends. Let's see, any of those stand out? Nope. Alright, yeah, so figure out what needs to be shown and what today, 5-day. Local weather. I'm looking at the Oklahoma Mesonet right now. Let's look at the weather in Madison Park, the meteogram. I want to see. How do I? And that really doesn't tell that big of a story, though. Okay. What I will show y'all next is mesoscale discussion. See if there's any of those out. Nope. Only for Texas right now. We'll go back to radar here and give an update on the storms then. Again, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat and we'll get them answered. So again, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning near Cupertine, hitting between Apache and Fort Cobb. Really, this storm may not last too much longer, as we're having a lot of pre-boundary convection there that may cut off some of the energy. Just have to wait and see exactly what happens with that. So the good thing right now is this will significantly decrease the tornado threat for this area right now. But we will see an increase in precipitation, especially in that's near the Wichita Mountains. So that's could cause some localized flooding there with runoff. Let's check on our 2 tornado warnings again. And again, these are both in Texas. And why am I telling about Texas? Well, these storms are going to move into Oklahoma eventually. We'll look at this one that's moving just north of Chico. I've put the radar into motion here. And you can see that circulation continue to develop, go away. It's going to recycle and come back now. As you can see, it's getting more organized again, developing a nice hook on the storm. And soon I'm guessing another tornado might pop down just north of Chico, looks like. I mean, just barely north of Chico, Texas. We do expect this one to cross the Red River later tonight. Maybe it will still be tornadic, maybe not. Just have to wait and see. Continue monitoring the storms. Again, it's going to be a late night for many of us. Storms are expected to continue the tornado threat through midnight tonight. That tornado watch that the Storm Prediction Center in the NWS office in Norman has put out. So continue to monitoring there. Make sure you do have your tornado plan in place. What are you going to do if you get a tornado warning? And again, I've posed this question several times. What are you going to do in a tornado warning with the virus? I do have a couple of Facebook posts up about that, so if you want to check them out, go ahead. Really, the too long didn't read version of that is there's no good answer we as meteorologists can give you. I've laid out some of the risks on both sides of it. Community shelters are great for protection against tornadoes, but again, you do have that community spread of the virus with it. On the complete opposite side of it is you have doing pretty much nothing except getting inside, away from windows and such. You'll lower your community spread risk of the coronavirus, but you'll increase your chances of being killed by a tornado or injured by a tornado, I should say. So just a risk everybody's going to have to take. And then you have the kind of middle ground is sheltering in your family storm shelter. So again, you'll have to weigh your risks and whatnot with that and make a decision for yourself. As a meteorologist, the best advice for weather alone is center room or below ground. Any tornado, that's going to be your best bet. Weaker tornadoes you can sometimes survive in a house, but you can't really predict tornado strength until after the storm has passed. We have an estimate of what it may be, but we cannot guarantee it. Take the El Reno one. Looking at it on radar, it looked very weak as it was beginning, but we didn't realize how strong it was till after the damage reports came back and we started getting reports of all the fatalities and such. Alright, we'll go ahead and look at this over 20 storm now. Newcastle and Graham, moving towards Newcastle and Graham, I should say. Rotation has kind of went away with that. Kind of got absorbed into a blob of precipitation, I believe. Yeah. So that threat looks to be minimized at this point in time, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it if it continues to strengthen. One area of concern that's going to be watching in Texas right now. Again, we're focusing on Texas right now as that's where the main show is at right now. But these storms will move northwestward or northeastward into Oklahoma. So we're looking east of Breckenridge, Texas. And what we'll see here is this S shape. And what this is this is a signature that indicates an area of enhanced vorticity. And vorticity is really just spinning the atmosphere. It's one of the parameters one of the things we look for in saying, could there be a tornado forming here? And right now, it's not close, but there is definitely inflow and outflow into the tornado. So definitely an area to watch out for potential tornado genesis to occur or forming of a tornado. Again, it's not close right now, but it could become closer. So we'll continue to keep an eye out down there and what could be coming towards Oklahoma. Why am I now in Kansas? I don't know. And when we come back, take a look at the storm in Oklahoma. Again, it looks like it's fizzling out, which is good news. I wonder if they'll drop the severe thunderstorm warning in the next few minutes or let it expire to see what. It expires in 3 minutes, so I don't know if the NWS Norman will let that expire or whatnot, but we'll just wait and see on that. Otherwise, right now, for much of the state, a few warm rumbles of thunder in the central portions of the state between I-44 and I-40 in western Oklahoma. South central Oklahoma right now, it's a bunch of light rain appears to be, so nothing too crazy right now. But again, the Dallas-Fort Worth office just extended a tornado, and it's really getting to act together. This could be a dangerous tornado. Again, Chico, Alvord, Texas. I'm not familiar with Texas town names, but definitely a concerning situation is developing down there. So, good news for Oklahoma is it's taking a right turn, but definitely not a good thing for these people down here. Definitely something to watch out for if you have people in Texas in this area. Chico, north of Bridgeport, Decatur, Alvord. Looks like we are seeing a rapidly intensifying tornado. See the exact text of this. Tornado warning was issued. Damaging tornado and golf ball size hail. This is an emergency management confirmed tornado. So that means it is on the ground and doing Test? Okay, we're back. Gotta love technical difficulties. Yeah, they let the severe thunderstorm warning expire for Oklahoma. So right now, Oklahoma is almost warning free. We do have the flash flood warning in effect for the next hour, 15 minutes for Roseville, Altus, Hedrick, Godebo, Hobart, and towns in between now. We do have storms trying to form again into the northwest Texas area. Well, let's go and see how they develop and form. Actually, they're kind of petering out, which is good news as getting to the Oklahoma border, but we'll see if they continue that way. Again, right now, the only show in the area right now is near Chico, where there is a strong rotation occurring, a confirmed tornado. I will go back and show this. Right now, this will not affect Oklahoma. It was on track, then it took a hard right turn, and it's definitely ramping up still. Okay, they have extended the Envoy tornado warning in Texas for Graham, the Graham area. Not seeing a real strong velocity signature on that. Is it confirmed? Radar indicator rotation. Okay, I don't want to badmouth and then not see where I was seeing the tornado potential at though. But if you have people in Texas, let them know that there's some tornado warnings for their areas. If they are impacted by that, I realize Texas is huge. Really right now in Oklahoma, it does remain a wait and see game. Again, nothing terrible right now. I'll wait for a couple more radar scans to see how these storms, Chillicothe? I'll say Vernon because I know how to say Vernon. Near Vernon, Texas. We're looking at a storm, and we're going to see how that survives. We're about any second now. We should be getting a radar update, so we'll see how that goes. But again, if you have any questions, let me know or try to answer them. And as conditions warrant, I'll hop back on here and give an update on these storms. But when I first hopped on there, these storms looked like they were going to impact Oklahoma. But right now they are not, which is a good sign. These are in Texas. At least for the people of Oklahoma, it's a good sign. Obviously never good when the town's getting slammed with a large and violent tornado. But the threat to Oklahoma right now is not there, as these storms are starting to turn right. We'll see how they affect the energy in Oklahoma, and see if they eat up all the energy in the atmosphere. That's a large, violent tornado down there. Storms look. Yeah, there's a few storms starting to fall off in the Texas Panhandle, looks like. We'll go ahead and update this from the Amarillo radar. As you can see, storms are breaking apart, and then they kind of are just hanging out doing their thing. Not really strengthening, not really weakening right now. They're just maintaining the status quo. We'll see how they start to develop over time as they move into an atmosphere that's already been worked over. Sometimes that works to our advantage. Sometimes it does not. Sometimes they are able to overcome it. But right now, it's a wait and see as they move into Oklahoma again. the highest risk for tornadoes is going to be right now in Texas, obviously. But we're looking at an area. And here is the highest and a secondary area around here. Ish. That's a rough estimate. I'm a terrible artist. So, yeah. Alright. I'll continue monitoring these storms. I'll update as necessary. Again, when I hopped on here, we were looking to have a tornado warning heading into the state, but it's turned right and is now affecting Alvord, Chico, Decatur, Sanger, Denton eventually will be in the line of fire if it holds together. So if you know people in those areas, make sure they're aware of this. But yeah, I'm going to hop off for now. I'll be back if conditions warrant. Thank you for listening. And any questions, send them my way. Bye.